So I did my ethnography project on gendered spaces in the gym. Um, Spaces, for the most part, create an arena for gender, for people to do gender. Um, One of the places that I believed socially conformed to like the notions of masculinity and femininity was the gym. The belief was initially that the gym was perceived to be a place more mainstream for men. Um, but in due time, women started going to the gym more often as well. And um, as far as the arrangement of the weight machines, it eventually started to convey some sort of gender. They were basically separated based on gender and sex stereotypes. Um, Specifically, the gym at Ramapo, when you enter, it's pretty much divided into four main sections. So when you enter, to your left, you have the free weight area, where the dumbbells are, the benches are, and then to your right is where the treadmills, the ellipticals, the Stairmaster, and the bikes are facing towards the window. And then in the middle here, you have all the other in-between weight machines that focus on legs, your abdominal, your chest, your back. And then in the far corner to the left, we have the area where the benches and the squatting areas are. Spaces, for the most part, in the gym are pretty negotiable depending who's at the gym. From what I observed, depending what area, even if an area is primarily taken over by men, I've seen like women also as well try to take over, or at least like participate in those male, I guess, workouts. Depending, it was situational, pretty much depending the time and depending the person, whether they'd be allowed into that space. From my observations, I noticed pretty much the peak time for everyone to go to the gym is around like 6 p.m. during the week. It would be like about an estimate of 12 women and an estimate of like 16 men. The females tended to the machines that were basically the cardio machines. So as I mentioned before, the treadmill, the stationary bikes, the Stairmaster, the ellipticals, mainly because their core focus was on their legs and their lower body. Males, on the other hand, were likely to work out in the areas where there were heavy weights. So they were primarily in the free weight area or in the back area where the benches were and where they could do the squats. Their focus was more on upper body and building strength. Also, what I did notice with the males is when they're in the free weight area, there's actually a mirror placed in front of that section, and I would kind of notice men looking at themselves as some sort of spectacle. Like they would either, like, I believe in sort of like increase their motivation in their workout, like they'd start flexing more, they start staring at themselves more. I feel like that was probably purposely done because males are typically admired for their body, so I believe the placement of that was not completely coincidental. But as well, even though the majority of the males did lean toward areas where there was heavy weights or workouts that focused on upper body strength, there were the couple of other males that didn't fall into that category. So the demographic of males that I think, or that I noticed that were there, like on the treadmills and the stationary bikes, were actually male athletes. It could have been probably because their status as an athlete requires them to work on cardio nonetheless, but they were one of the few people, or one of the few kinds of guys that did participate in cardio, as well as during my nighttime observations. The men that also participated in cardio workouts were, I guess, what you can typically describe as the unathletic kind. So typically the individuals who do not work out regularly or are not affiliated with any official sport teams. So I noticed more of them started coming at night. I guess because of the time, it would be closer to like closing, so it also wouldn't be as packed in there, wouldn't be too much competition with their other athletic like counterparts. As far for the women, when women go to the gym, they're pretty much held up to the standard that their purpose to go to the gym is to slim down. For the most part, women, I think nonetheless, are habitually critiqued for their bodies, which therefore leads to body shaming, which leads to them wanting to lose this unnecessary weight. However, in this case, I actually noticed more females challenging that desirable body outcome, and so instead of wanting to slim down, there was actually one female who wanted to gain size and tone up, so she was rotating between the weight machines and the free weights. Because of this, well, not only just her, but because of the fact that women are infiltrating, I guess, these male zones, they're starting to blur the gender boundaries and allowing themselves more access to other parts of the gym. Which also brings me to a point. I forgot to mention the example male that I also observed, who his primary goal was to lose weight, which we don't really see that often in males. It's always kind of like that primal male instinct to kind of bulk up and gain muscle. So his objective was to lose weight, so he participated in more weight machines and then free weights as well. Well, I noticed for the most part with the gym overall is, although it's a gendered space, the gym is, the key strategy for a gym is to pretty much produce and reproduce difference, which in other words means that whether you're a female or male, you use your body as a site of modification. So going to the gym enables you to want to either change something about yourself or use enhancements or transform some part of your body that you don't like. And when typically males and females enter this space, because of the fact that it's known that there are gendered spaces, like we said before, females with the cardio and the males with the weights, you're going to reproduce different results as far as the final outcome, which are why males typically more buff and bigger and girls slim down. These difference, even though there are differences in the kind of body goals that they want and the training regimen they use, nonetheless they both desire pretty much the same thing, and it's to perform some sort of body transformation on themselves. And with that, I learned that it's not a subjective experience, because of the way we sort of, I guess, instill this ideal that we need to look a certain way, it actually becomes more of a gendered experience than less of a subjective. And yeah, that's pretty much what I observed from my time at the gym.